Hello ladies and gentlemen, how are y'all doing? Today we're going to be reviving another oddity right here. We have an antique brush cutter. I was told it's from the 60s, but I really don't know. Been barely ever been used, and it was just put in a shed and given to the guy I got it from, who put a new carburetor on it and had it running. But he never used it, and then he gave it to me. So we'll see if this thing will start or not. First, I'll give y'all a walk around, show you what we're working with here, and see if it won't run. Alright, well, let's get started. So, for those of y'all wondering what exactly this would be a walk-behind brush cutter that's set up with the tow-behind seat. That, of course, has interesting steering system, and of course that just comes off with that pin right there, so you could, I guess, do other things. Don't know what size deck this has, but everything seems to be in really good condition, and the blade on it has barely been used. It's a Brazen Stratton flathead engine, 319cc, so that's about 8 horsepower. It's a pretty decent engine. Only part we know for a fact is missing is the nut that holds this on the top, and I'm willing to put my money on the fact that on betting that's a wrong air filter, because that ain't right. But for now, I'm just going to take this off, and we can work with that. Let's see, we got anything in the fuel tank? Where's a stick? How about a drill bit that's probably too dirty to need to go in there? Well, ain't gonna be much fuel if it's got any, so I'll go put some fresh fuel in this just to help it out, and we'll see if we can't get it to start. I know it turns over, and that's the shutoff switch. Just in case y'all wonder, that shocks you. Got another engine that has that, and that's. Anyways, I'll go get some fuel, and let's see how this goes. It's not a lot of fuel, but it's enough to do something. Now we should check the oil. That's not a good spot to check it. There we go. It's got it in it. Supposedly that's a new carburetor, so shoot. I'll put you on the stand so I have both hands free. Hopefully there's enough slack in that belt that the blade doesn't engage. We'll see. Turn the fuel on. Say that's choke on. Definitely has compression. Nothing either way. I'm gonna go find some brake clean or something. I'll be right back. I got this really old can of liquid fire. See if we can do anything with that. If it's got spark, that'll do something. I say that's a hard no on the spark. That's probably not the best setup right there. Okay, we don't have spark. Great. This might not be easy to get to. Now see, these engines aren't like modern ones where they got this solid state. Wait a minute, magnetron. Hold on a second. Alrighty, so we got a new ignition coil on here. Turns out this thing was a solid state ignition. It was the Briggs & Stratton magnetron, or at least I believe that's, from what I understand, that's what it meant, which would actually put this whole machine built in the 80s. So a lot newer than what I expected and was told, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's actually using a real old design, and they just kept making it, which is nothing wrong with that. Anyways, I'm going to put this thing back together, put the wheel back on, and try to start it then. Because I don't think I should have to take this much off to swap any other part, I hope. Anyway, so I'll get that back together, and let's see if it'll start then. Alrighty, we got it reassembled. That off. Leave it still. That might be a problem. Yeah, that cord's still acting funny, but let's just spray some juice down in there and see if it does anything before I go to fighting with it too much. It tries to retract. Heck, it was originally. Still enough. Now, I know I've got spark. Is the choke on? Is that what's blocking it? What was that? I wonder if the fluid's bad. Is that possible? I don't know. Maybe that fluid's bad. Let's just see what happens if I turn the fuel on, if something happens. Well, that sounded a little more promising. Try opening up the throttle. I don't get it. What gives here? Alright, well, it turns out the throttle was set all the way to nothing. You can see that it works now, so it's either off or wide open. Let's see if that maybe some airflow's actually let through it, if that'll help. Fuel shut back off. I'm gonna try this again. Let's see. Well, that helped. Now let's see if it'll run with the fuel. So I'm gonna assume that's choked on, and okay, that's not doing anything anymore. Let's set it to that. Just give it a little juice. Okay, so are we getting any fuel to the carburetor? Is there any fuel in the tank? Yeah, we got fuel in the tank, so that's... Now it's a... Yeah, a little bit. Does it need an automatic bowl adjustment? Let's try that. Alright, so what gives? I know this thing sat outside a little bit. I wonder if the float is stuck in the carburetor. Don't know. I'm going to play with this for a minute. Alright, so what I'm doing here, I'm going to start it and just try to run it off brake clean some. To see if that won't break what's in here loose. Might help if I actually had some in the can. There we go. Now that tried to work. Alright, carburetor just ain't working. And now everything's hot. I spy one thing that definitely ain't helping. Come here and I'll show you. I don't know if y'all can see it, but can y'all spot the misplaced gasket? So yeah, I'm gonna take that carburetor apart and, or at least take it off and see what I can do. Something ain't right here. I'll be back when it gets off. I get it off. You know what I meant. Anyways. Alright, trying the same thing again. Here we go. I unblowed it out to see if there's any difference made. Didn't seem to be, but I did find out the choke was on. So that may not have helped. May have. I don't know. Just spray it everywhere. Full cord's working better. Was that fuel or was that something else? Nothing. What's that screw do? There we go! Just need it clean and that screw was turned too far in. Now I gotta see if it'll turn off. Okay, note to self, only runs with the choke. Wait a minute. That was the choke on. Never mind, I'm stupid. Okay. So that works. Unfortunately, there's a screw that goes down there. It's stripped off. And I wasn't even really torquing on it. It just stripped off real easy like. So, whoops. I'll put this thing back together and let's see if we can move it. It's getting dark, so we may try cutting with it tomorrow, but let's at least see if it'll move. Alright, so it's kind of, it doesn't show up in the camera, but it's about to be dark. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to crank it up, and I'm going to see if I can't pull it out, spin it around, and park it back. And then tomorrow, we'll see if we can go cut with it. Good? Alright, let's go. No! No, stay alive. Ah! Ah, crap. Ah, did I run all the fuel out the bowl? This carburetor probably needs a serious cleaning, and I don't even know if y'all can see me. Stay running. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah! Okay. It can't keep enough fuel in the bowl, but... That's a fun son of a gun. And it's leaking fuel at the top. Okay, well, this is going to be an adventure. I will see y'all in the morning. I am going to go to bed. Or eat dinner. Probably should eat dinner. You know, whatever. Well, I dumped the fuel tank out, and there was a little junk in there. Just a hair. Anyways, I got cleaned up some, just set back on here. I went ahead and I bought new lines, filter, and everything from Moe's Mowers in Fitzgerald, or Moe's Mower Parts, which is the best daggum part store, I swear. But I'll get all that put on here and try to crank it up again, see if that fixes the running issue. Because it ran good until things started getting clogged, and I had to clean this out, and of course the filter was... I tried putting a new filter on it, running it around, and it ran a little bit longer before it stopped up again. So hopefully replacing all this, and maybe the carburetor hasn't re-gunked. And we will try running it around again, see how long it lasts. Alright, well, let's do the thing, or I'll do this thing and be right back. Because putting lines and clamps on is not very interesting. Okay, goodbye. Alright, I think I've got it to where it'll stay running. I've more or less cleaned out the entire fuel tank. It's, you know, not perfect, but it's working for now. Replaced all the fuel line, filters, cut off, and I finally had to put a new carburetor on it. The old one was shot. It too much, get fuel in the bowl, and I think I got this one to finally stay running. It was giving me issues too. Just Chinese junk. It was the cheapest one on Amazon and came with half a daggum service kit like they do for some reason. Couldn't find any grease points as far as the gearbox or that, so I'm just going to take and out in those weeds and tall grass, I'm going to make a pass or two. Not too much, because I know there's some big stumps out there, and I'm not going to want to hit those. And yeah, so we'll see how this thing does. It's kind of starting to get dim, but I think that's really more cloud cover than anything. But I'm ready to have this project done. Not going to do any more because the gas cap doesn't seal right anymore, and when it's running it kind of starts to pool and leak, and it just, that's a little sketchy, you know, dry grass, stuff flying everywhere, fuel, heat sources, ignition, you know, stuff. Anyways, I'll get y'all set up and we'll take it for an actual spin. Whew. That thing is a workout to operate. And honestly, the worst of it's because of the stupid steering system on the seat. If it weren't for that, it actually wouldn't be too bad. But, I mean, for grass, I'm right at 6 foot tall, and I'm looking up at some of it. It really didn't do a bad job, you know, especially, you know, dragging me. It got hung up right there on this, which that's about that much. Anyways, this thing actually be great just using it as a walk behind. The seat's fun, but honestly, unless I was doing a whole lot where it was, you know, nice, smooth, back and forth, I wouldn't want that seat. But like for doing that, just this would be great. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It was kind of a fun, interesting project, even if I had to replace half of it. And yeah, hope y'all learned something. If not, I at least hope you enjoyed it. And I will see y'all in the next video. Alright, bye.